Do not fear mistakes. There are none. Miles Davis assembled some of the history's greatest jazz musicians. He once said, "Don't fear mistakes. There are none." There's a story told by Herbie Hancock, who played with him as a pianist. It goes something like this. Once when Hancock was playing with Miles' ensemble, he hit what he considered to be a bad chord on the piano. He thought he had reduced that great night to rubble. But Miles was an innate improviser, and he responded on his trumpet with a series of notes that made Hancock's misstep sound intentional. Hancock said later, he did what any jazz musician should always try to do, and that's to make anything that happens into something of value. This isn't just true of jazz musicians. I talk a lot about jazz when trying to explain what it takes to be successful as a real estate investor, because I think there are so many parallels. So much of what we do is improvisation, and we often make mistakes that look to be insurmountable. But I found that some of the biggest mistakes I've made have also brought me the greatest value. Some of the biggest challenges I've faced in my business have turned out to be blessings that have transformed my business, my income, and my life. Back in 1991, my business crashed. I'd built a $17 million business from scratch in less than 4 years. But the savings and loan crisis hit that year, and the market value of all the properties I was building dropped dramatically. I was working with bank lenders at the time, something I don't recommend these days. And those lenders came to me and asked me to put up more money if I wanted to continue building the houses I was working on. Because the values had dropped, they wanted me to have more money and more equity in the deal. Now, I was so far leveraged at the time, it was impossible for me to come up with more cash. So they took back the properties from me. Yeah, that was in their 100-page mortgage contract. And it left me with nothing. I had no choice but to improvise. I had no choice but to figure out a different solution. I knew I no longer had credit, I didn't have cash, but I needed a way to start making money again because I had a wife and new baby at home that were counting on me, and I needed to step up to the plate. I had literally lost everything except a few $1,000s I'd scraped together to rent a U-Haul and move us back to Indiana. I decided to become a real estate agent because I knew a lot about houses and I could easily get a license. It was easier back then. What I didn't know at the time was how to talk to people. I didn't understand sales. I didn't understand the Socratic method. I didn't understand consultative selling. I thought salespeople were all scumbags and crooks. And here I found myself at age 32, a salesperson. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Millionaire to penury in a matter of months. I had to create a new paradigm around selling. I reframed my idea of what sales and business could be. I felt that if I could bring benefit to the people I'm working with, that would be ethical and worthwhile. So I built a new business with the idea of being an ethical real estate investor. It's almost an oxymoron. Those words don't always go together. It's kind of like jumbo shrimp or military intelligence. Thank you, George Carlin. Most people feel about investors the same way I felt about salespeople before I became one. When you face challenges, when you make mistakes, your options get reduced. When you have fewer options, you have to be creative in how you approach those challenges. I had no credit and no cash. I was also deeply embarrassed and humiliated by my loss. Everyone I knew saw what had happened to me. I had to learn how to buy houses with no money and no credit, and I had to get money rolling in pretty quickly. That's where the techniques I teach today came from. If you want to be a real estate investor, if you want to create a business that you can be proud of and pass down to your children, you're going to need to learn how to face your challenges and think creatively. You're going to need to learn to improvise and play jazz with your business. If you'd like my help and you'd like to learn from my experiences, and if you'd like me to show you how to build your own portfolio and systematize your business, if you'd like to use my systems and have me walk you through the process step by step, I'd love to work with you. If you want to work with me personally, you can find out all about my 6-month mentor program at zerodowninvesting.com. This website will show you how my program works, what's included, what it costs, what you can expect from me, what I expect from you if you sign up. There are 3 training videos on the site that will go into great detail about what you need to do to build a profitable real estate investing business. They're about 2 hours worth of education. I call them my advanced training because that's kind of what they are. If you don't have any experience with real estate, they may be a bit over your head. The techniques I teach in these videos come from my personal experience, and you won't find this information anywhere else. If you aren't interested in working with me personally, or you can't afford to join my mentor program, that's okay. These 3 videos will still be worth your while. They'll give you an overview of my entire business and show you how to model your business after the step-by-step systems that I've created. Even if you ultimately decide not to join my mentor program, I can safely say the advanced training program can completely transform your thinking about building a real estate investing business. I think these advanced training videos are one of the best video programs I've ever created, and they don't cost you a dime. They distill my 35 plus years as an investor and my 20 plus years as a coach and give you a complete outline of how we build a powerful, profitable, consistent, reliable, ethical, peaceful business. They give you the milestones, benchmarks, and standard operating procedures that you need to succeed. All right, that's it for today. I hope you'll join me in the mentor program. If you like this channel, please click on the subscribe button, hit the like button below. Also go to joecrumpblog.com and sign up for my free email newsletter. I send out a lot of good information that I don't send out anywhere else on that newsletter. All right, good luck to you.